You've been told over and over, manage your time. But let's be honest, no matter how many planners you fill out, how many calendars you sync, something still feels off. You're exhausted, burnt out, scattered. That's because time management is no longer enough. Time doesn't account for how alive you feel. It doesn't measure your mental focus, emotional stamina, or physical motivation. That's why energy management is the new game. Because what really moves you forward in college, it's not your calendar, it's your current. Energy management is the practice of aligning your tasks with your capacity, not just your clock. It's about knowing when to go deep, when to slow down, and when to reset. It's choosing to do your hardest work when your mind is clear, taking a break when your body needs rest, and giving yourself space when emotions are heavy. I remember thinking I was productive after pulling an all-nighter to finish a paper. I checked it off my list, powered through the day, but the next morning, I bombed a quiz I barely studied for. Look, I wasn't out of time, I was out of energy. That moment made me realize I needed to show up a different way. Look, energy management helps you stop living in reaction and start living in rhythm. And when you get this right, you don't just perform better, you actually feel better. Let's start with the first part of energy rhythms. That's your peak. That's a zone when you feel on, you're sharp, motivated, creative, distractions fade. It might hit you first thing in the morning, like me, or late at night. But once you recognize it, protect it. Here's a tactic for you to think about when you're in your peak zone. Use your peak to tackle high impact work, like papers or test prep, problem sets. This is where your A-level thinking happens. Don't waste it on trying to send an email. That's a waste of energy. Next is your trough. A trough is when your energy dips, you hit a wall. It's that crash you feel that you know is on. You feel unmotivated, mentally foggy. You might even feel a little anxious. This is where most students try to push through. But the smart move, pause. Here's a tactic to use during your trough. Use your trough for basic tasks like organizing notes, sending emails, or recharging entirely. Step away, and remember, you're not quitting, you're recovering. Lastly is recovery. See, the recovery is your comeback. Look, you're not 100%, but you're rising. You're more open to new ideas, you're creative, you're innovative, you have more conversations, and you're open to collaborating for what's most important. Here's a tactic you can use during your recovery. Use this time to reconnect with your work and your friends and your goals. It's great for study groups, creative brainstorming, or processing what you've learned before. And look, energy rhythms is important because college life is pressure-filled. Deadlines, social demands, classes, work. You've been taught to grind through it all, but what if you didn't have to force everything? What might be possible if you looked at your week like a battery instead of a clock? Energy management gives you the awareness to pivot, not panic. It helps you say, I'm not lazy, I'm just in a trough. I'll bounce back soon. That perspective alone can change everything. Now, you don't need a new planner. You don't need a new calendar. You need a new lens. So here's something you can actually try tonight. Ask yourself, when did I feel energized today? When did I hit a wall? What might help me bounce back? Track your energy, not just your time. This is how you will build your rhythm and sustain high-level energy throughout your day. Managing your time helps you keep up, but managing your energy helps you show up with focus, clarity, and confidence. Because it's not just about getting things done, it's about feeling present while you do it.